culture. Everything is permitted.
Welcome to episode 53 of Everything is Permitted here in our secret lair, secret bunker. I'm your captain and host of this lovely journey through space and time, Julian Brown, alongside my co-hosts, the man of steel, Matt Reppert, and the master of puns, Brittany Tomes. How we doing?
There are no words.
There are no words.
Oh, God.
There are no words
film.
for the VelociPastor. No words.
I have so many complicated feelings about this movie.
You know how you can sum it up? Pastor in the streets, raptor in the sheets.
Damn right. That's actually...
Right?
Should have been their
What
tagline.
yeah,
Really should've been.
what was the tagline? Because I could kind of faintly see it in the...
something
The
about being a
poster
man of God.
itself is better than the film. Like, if you look at the poster, you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the amount of work they put into this.
All right.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, let's stow that for now.
It's going to be painful. We are also joined on today's show with our very special guest, a member of the Tomes Foundation, as we call them, Brittany's brother, Jarrod Tomes. Welcome back to the show.
I'm glad to be back. Looking forward to talking about the shittiest movie in human history.
I'm sorry that this is the show that we had you to come back on because this is just painful this week.
We're supported by the Tomes Foundation and viewers like you. That's what I think of every time you said.
Every single time. This week on the show, as we mentioned, it is the return of Raiders of the Bargain Bin. Matt, you know how you feel sometimes when I say it is the return of the bargain bin? You go like, ah.
Yes.
That's how I feel about this movie.
I remember I was
this
excited
week.
for it to come back, and then I realized we're watching VelociPastor, and I was like, now it's gone.
The people spoke.
My
The people
happiness
spoke, and this is where we're at. An hour and 10 minutes of my life that I'll never get back
And
from watching that movie.
It felt like 4 hours. That's the worst part.
We paused it at one point, and it said 27 minutes. I'm like, it's
You're like,
been
in
like an
or
hour.
left?
We should probably stop, though. We're starting to get into the movie, though.
Okay.
Fine. Way
Yeah, I
to
know.
ruin the mood,
I
Matt.
know. Well, I don't want us to blow our load, so to speak.
Well,
Like that
the
VFX car explosion.
yes.
VFX.
Save it for later.
Okay.
So Raiders of the Bargain Bin makes its season 3 premiere with VelociPastor. We will get to that, and because you asked for it, and we listened, I guess.
We reluctantly followed.
Exactly. We'll also be going down the list of some of the most awful films we've ever sat through. So it was just a day of shit on Everything is Permitted. And I guess that's...
I was going to say so much shit. I hope everyone's stocked up on toilet paper.
Oh, damn.
God.
That's the only joke we'll be making.
The only one. The only one. Announcements. Shout out time. We just launched the second episode of Everything is Delicious. We had our reactions to the first elimination on Top Chef All-Stars. That's Karen and I doing that show. And then Everything is Delicious airs every Friday at noon. But Brittany, how can people listen to EID early and this month's edition of Raiders of the Bargain Bin?
You can do that by supporting our show and joining our Patreon program. That's right. For just $2 a month, you can get early access to wonderful things like Raiders of the Bargain Bin. Totally worth it. And Everything is Delicious, which is delicious. Delicious
Yum.
content. You can also become an EEP Veep, as I love to call them, for $5 a month and get access to all of our EIP VIP exclusive bonus pods every month, like the one we're recording today. Speaking of our patrons, thanks always to Billy Peets, Heather Reppert, Ann Conkling, Rob Migliaccio, a.k.a. McCavity, Michael Cox, Nikki Veazey, and Matt Moore.
Matt Moore, who we just got to talk to.
Yes.
Matt Moore.
Testing for our big extravaganza next week.
All that and Matt Moore.
Ooh. I'm going to just do that for you. Sorry, that
I
was a
hope
little
you enjoyed
lame.
it, Matt.
I think he did. Hey, Matt, if people want to support us but don't feel like, dropping some money, which is understandable right now, we're in some hard times, how else can people support us?
Give us a 5-star review on Apple iPods, and that's how you're going to help us out.
Apple iPods, huh?
I'm sorry, God damn it.
Apple
I'm not even
Podcast.
going to cut that out because it sounded so good.
Whatever. You know
Whatever.
what?
Give us your reviews on your Apples, on your iPads. We're talking on your Samsungs. Anything you got, just give us a rating.
So look, one of the reasons my mind is so effed up right now is because last night I was screwing around on Twitch because I'm doing like Destiny Trials of Osiris crap. And
Oh, I hear people are not happy with Trials right now.
it's it's tough. Like the only way you're gonna go flawless is if you get really lucky with your matches, or if you get somebody sweaty to carry you.
Well, yeah, and people are basically like going back and just like trying to get like they're going back to farm it for KD ratio, right?
Rant.
That
We are gonna get to rants.
No, I meant
Yes.
that's his rant.
That is his rant.
No, that's not my rant.
Oh,
Pro
not
tip, Korean servers.
Oh, wow. That's not his rant. But that is a good reason for your mind to be foggy, so I'll allow it. But yes, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That helps get our show on the front page of the Apple Podcast page, which means more people listen, and we get to do more fun things like do giveaways and buy shitty bargain bin movies.
Watch VelociPastor.
Oh,
Gives me excuse
God,
to
no.
drop even more memes on y'all.
Oh, my God. Brittany was posting memes at 5:40 a.m. this morning. I was like, girl doesn't sleep. Girl doesn't sleep.
Yeah, I woke up in a cold sweat from a weird dream and my cat meowing at me, which probably caused the weird dream because I woke up too abruptly. And I was just like, memes away.
Memes away. All right, let's get into some rants and raves. And since we do have a guest, Jarrod, we'll let you go first. Do you have a rant or rave to share with us today?
Sure, I got a rant.
Rant away.
You ever get real excited about putting miniatures together for your favorite pastime?
Yes. Oh my God.
Well, sometimes your sister also has a pastime that has miniatures as well, and the quality of said miniatures is sheer fucking garbage. So I love Wizards of the Coast. They've done amazing things for Dungeons and Dragons, but I had to put together some of the I forget what it was called.
It's like the special deluxe minis that are
Yeah.
just specific characters.
like named characters for campaigns, and I was clipping them out with a pair of the mold removers and stuff, and the plastic was just literally shattering the whole time. And I spent
Just like my hopes and dreams.
I spent I think 45 minutes trying to glue down one person because his peg snapped off. And I couldn't get him because he had to be standing on a goddamn box. I don't know
He was
why he
leaping
had
off
to be
of
leaping
like
off
a crate,
box.
and it was really cool. But Jarrod had to lean him back, so now he's sauntering on a crate.
So why does he have 8 parts and then the other 2 that I did were just complete figures and then their base? That's my rant.
I don't
Get your shit
get.
together,
They're
Wizards.
small enough that
I-
they could just sell them like the rest of them, where they're just fully molded and done.
It
I
makes
don't
no
get why
sense.
they're even they're not elaborate.
I would also file that under hashtag Corona quarantine problems.
Oh my god, yeah,
Yeah.
clearing out my backlog of Space Marines.
Well, now I
it's
finally
ridiculous.
have. I mean, I still have to work during the week, so I don't really have more time per se. But at least on the weekend,
Brittany's taking calls,
And,
dealing with these
painting.
magnetic doors while painting at the
Dude,
same time.
I wish, but my hands have to be typing constantly.
Living
on the
her
computer.
best life.
I think they also try to check how active we are on our computers.
Will you be
They have us have Skype on,
stop.
and you know how if you go
yeah.
even idle,
yeah.
it'll show. Yeah. Sometimes I forget to change mine because I go pee and then I come back and it's still in a meeting mode, and my boss will call me and be like, "What's up with that?" And I'm like, "Well, I just sent a quote, so I'm here, and my phone's on." I'm like, sorry.
You gotta get the hell out of there.
Oh man.
You
Nah.
gotta get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Rant, rave, Matt, Brittany,
Oh,
go.
I
hit it.
have 2 raves. You know how I always say rant, but I mean good things. Okay, rave number 1. Animal Crossing New Horizons, bitches. It's amazing. Go get it. It may or may not cure your depression, but it'll be a hell of a good time. It's the only capitalist man I trust, Tom Nook. I'm fine with being in debt to him. I can work for those bells. I would rather be in debt to
I
a
watched her
raccoon.
play for I think 10 hours yesterday. It might have been more.
Wow.
Not in a row.
There was
It
a
was
brief
broken up.
intermission.
Is this a game that I would enjoy? Do I need to get it for my Switch, or is it not my kind
I
of jam?
think, I don't know if you've played
What
those
is your
games,
kind of game, Julian?
I mean, I play everything.
then you'll
Okay.
like it.
Do you like
it'll be
Minecraft?
good comedy.
I hate Minecraft.
Okay, cool. Because
Oh.
Animal Crossing isn't
It's
Minecraft.
not Minecraft.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So there you
It's
go.
a little better.
Have you even continued playing through Witcher 3?
No,
No.
that I don't have time for. New season
many
of
side
Destiny,
quests.
dude.
I mean, I burned 200.
And I skipped a season, so I'm under light, and Iron Banner comes next week.
I think you'll be okay.
Well, to all you sad people out
I'm
there.
987.
I'm 998.
Yeah,
What's your
so
point?
that means that you could one-shot me, and I'd be dead. And I have to do 5 scout shots on you to kill you.
No, spoiler alert, dude. There's people that are 1,015 and such right now.
I know.
running around,
Iron Banner's my jam. I'll still wreck.
Oh no,
fools.
Iron Janner.
If we're comparing numbers, here's my other rave. We got over 700 likes on our Facebook page. I think we're currently at 745. We're rising every day. We're still popping, giving you content, funny memes and things to lighten up the mood.
And tons of podcasts.
Yeah, right?
We got bonus
Yeah.
podcasts. We got
We
everything
got
is
friends
delicious.
we're working with.
Yeah,
we got our Star Trek peeps. We got Geeks with Kids. Shameless
announcement.
plug.
I didn't do it yet. Another announcement. Sorry to get on your.
No, you're go ahead.
This
This is
goes
what
with
rants count.
your rave. Joining us next week and is going to guest for our entire episode will be Brian Tudor from the Infamous podcast. I was a guest on his show a couple of weeks ago, and going to return the favor. Been meaning to have him on for a while, and we're going to talk the season of Picard and a bunch of other fun stuff, film music and
I have
all that
several
jazz.
episodes behind him.
Well, you have nothing. Oh, well, you work. Well, you sit in your squad car and do your thing.
Well, sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Yeah.
Sit in your
You
squad
have
car and do your
24 hours to
Sorry
comply.
to
It's
No, you're
piggyback
good.
on your
Matt's
rave.
going to sit outside in the ghost town that is the entire U.S. and is just going to sit there and be like, okay, Picard, watch for
Make it
crimes.
I'm not going to lie to any of
kidding.
you. My job is very much like the openings to the Naked Gun movies, where I just drive around the various shit with my siren and lights on.
Speaking of Picard, I have a rant. I really hope the season finale is good next week because
Disappointed, are we?
I'm just ridiculously disappointed with this show.
Wait, do you know that like Hercules clip where he goes disappointed because he accidentally read the script and thought he had to yell it, but really he was supposed to act disappointed? That's what I just heard in my ears when you said that.
It's just been like so up and down, and the first part of the season finale this past Thursday was a jumbled, fucked up mess. And go ahead.
I'll tell you something. I watched a clip on YouTube of an old Next Generation episode where Picard talks to a Romulan, like commander, admiral, whatever.
Oh yeah, sub commander.
I forget the name.
Yes,
but
I watched the same clip.
the actor was in Babylon 5. Like that's how I know him, and he passed away years ago from lung cancer, I believe. But anyway, but that scene with the two of them interacting was to me better than pretty much Picard's been, and that's sad.
It is, and it's like this finale next week is going to have to do a lot because, like, I'm sad that I'm this disappointed. Like, I never thought that I would say that like Star Trek Discovery is doing a better job at being Star Trek than a Picard show is doing. Last week's episode just made so little sense. It had so many just pacing issues and falling for all the old tropes of sci-fi. And are
you sliding back towards my camp, Julian? Is that what's
I'm
happening
sliding.
here?
I'm very much in your camp right now. Like if this show doesn't have a good season
I'm
finale,
picturing that scene of 1917 where they're like trudging through like the marsh, like just falling into that dead body.
I thought you were going to say,
sliding.
And I
this is
decided-
really intense.
Hello there.
I gave him a whole
Animal Crossing also has camps on your island.
like right now, if I had to score the show right now, it would be like a 2. So that's where that's where we are.
How the mighty have fallen.
J'accuse.
So
Julien, how could you do this to us?
in the second season.
catch up.
Hey, Disco.
We have a lot to talk about next week. We'll figure it out.
All right,
Anyway, I'm disappointed.
So I'll do my rant real quick. I raved about the game last week as Ori and the Will of the Wisp. I beat the game, fantastic game and everything. However, the achievements are broken when you beat the game. Like, so the game, nothing pops saying that you beat the game, that you did this. And like some people have beaten the game without dying, which I cannot tell you how hard that must have been to accomplish that. The achievement doesn't pop.
Oh, I'd be pissed.
Yes. So, I mean, so
breaking
like,
the disc.
yeah, there's all sorts
Yeah.
of people who are talking about it and like, yeah, like apparently they're going to patch it at some point, but I'm just imagining like you did that grudging, like, oh my
How
God.
they go back to prove it.
Well, hopefully
Team
people
and
took
junkies be like,
vidcaps.
Well, I think
my next one?
I don't know if your because your save file, if you reload it, like it's just before the last boss, but the last boss fight is a bitch. Like it took me a couple minutes, took me a little while, I should say, to get through it. And I mean, to do it without dying, I can't imagine like what must have gone through your head when you beat the game and nothing happened, nothing popped.
can't wait till they introduce grounded mode. That's a joke.
Okay.
That's a Last of Us joke.
It's like a Last of Us joke that you guys won't get. It's the hardest mode. Where you have like literally limited ammunition. I literally had to kill the final like person in the game with a brick and then stab them with my knife because I had no ammo.
So kind of like real life then.
Yeah, I'm prepared
I
to
was
do it
about
now.
to say the same thing. Oh man.
The internet will understand that joke. For some reason, nobody here did.
I
Jared.
haven't
You
played-
know my
I-
feelings on Last of Us, so
yeah.
I know.
I've
it's
watched
just
you
like saying
beat
like
The Last
super.
of Us 7 times, so I hope I would get that reference.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Rants, raves, nothing? Well then, it is time for
The permitted minute.
The
What?
That made it sound like a
permitted
yawn.
minute.
I want to change it up. Keep people on their toes.
You are doing that. It is the permitted minute. We are going to go here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Gaeta, start the clock.
Seth Rogen spent one of the first days of social distancing by getting high and watching cats. Needless to say, he's living all of our best lives right now. All 9 of them.
By the time this episode debuts, Birds of Prey will be available to watch on Fandango's streaming service. Fandango Now. Why? Because she's Harley fucking Quinn. Sony revealed the full tech specs of the upcoming PlayStation 5 this week. More on that in just a moment.
Words we don't say often, but back on the subject of cats, fans are demanding the release of the butthole cut, which in all likelihood doesn't exist, but that's what they said about the Snyder cut. So
Release the Kraken!
Like all the best spies in the world, Black Widow held out for as long as possible, but finally fell victim to the Corona delay machine.
Starting this past Friday, Universal Studios has put new theatrical releases available for home viewing on iTunes, costing $20 a pop. In what is quite possibly the best Star Wars news ever, Rosario Dawson has been cast as Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian Season 2, with 5 seconds left.
I was wondering why you're going slow at the end. I was like, we must have time.
Yeah.
I believe we do.
Yep. We had time.
You wanted it to linger.
I did. I wanted
It's like,
that to linger.
Rosario.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the Corona delay machine. Sounds like a G.I. Joe, like Cobra device that they...
With our new toy, the Corona delay machine.
Start the Corona delay machine.
G.I. Joe Corona Edition.
They're all just with masks and gloves. And just like,
There doesn't Cobra already have
Yeah,
the
yeah.
mask?
Cobra does
Cobra
have-
Commander's already set, man.
Cobra's fine.
dude, he was setting trends back then.
Guys,
knew.
let's get right into odds and ends because, as I said in the last bit there on the permitted minute, our girl, we can't stop talking about her. Rosario Dawson, Ahsoka Tano, Mandalorian Season 2. I get goosebumps just saying it. I'm so stoked.
I'm just hoping that it's not some crappy flashback or something like that. I'm hoping that it's got some meat to the part.
They better give her some meat. Jesus Christ. I just mean they better give her
How are you going to say that and then be offended when we go, ugh.
Well, because no, but that's I meant like they better give her like screen time because like Ahsoka's a huge character everybody wants to see and Rosario's cool too. So we're like,
Ahsoka was the best part of the Clone Wars TV show for like a long ass time. Maybe not season 1 or 2.
No.
But then when she grows as a character, it's amazing.
Ahsoka's battle with Darth Vader is probably one of my favorite Star Wars moments of like the last generation.
Oh, on the
Like,
Sith planet. And
Yes,
yeah,
and
that's
Rebels,
just,
like,
oh.
yeah,
when
when-
Sith happens.
And when the mask gets all
Yeah,
broken
when
and
he-
he's
yeah.
Anakin again for a hot
said-
minute.
I don't know how true it is, but somebody said during that part, when his voice like goes to normal, that's actually the voice actor who played
It was.
Anakin in the Clone
Yep, no,
Wars.
that's true. 100%
Oh, nice. That's
true.
Cool. That's
Yep.
cool.
Great.
So,
Yeah, it goosebumps again. I can't, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm dancing.
When I first read
I never
this down
dance on the
below,
show.
I literally thought her full name was like Rosario Dawson Ahsoka. And I was like, what? Like it threw me off
man,
for a
that's
second.
pretty fortuitous casting.
It might as well be because how long has she been campaigning to play the role? Like
Forever
2
ago.
years? Yeah,
And then
it's
like
been a
fans
while.
even before that were like, this should happen. Yes, Gelfling.
Wow.
I mean, I guess I'm kind of happy that Disney listened to like one thing that was really good and was like, you know what? All right, let's do it.
I guess you can say she has the essence.
Oh my god.
Wow. Jesus.
Anyway, I love Dark Crystal. Fuck all of you.
Hey, I'm with you there.
Your puns drained the essence out of me.
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
Mother of God.
How do you think that she's going to figure into the show? Because obviously Baby Yoda or the child or whatever the hell you want to call him is obviously the Force user. Is Ahsoka maybe looking for him?
I could see there being like, I could see the Mandalorian bumping into somebody who's been like, look, and he's like, oh, he does these magic things with his hands or whatever. Like, he doesn't know what the hell the Force is. And somebody's like, I've heard rumor that there's somebody on this planet that might be able to help you with that.
And then big reveal, it's Ahsoka.
I mean, yeah, she was also running around as Fulcrum for a while because that's how she gets introduced in Rebels.
Yeah.
And since he's Cara Dune is like an associate and she's an ex-rebel. What was it?
Shock Trooper. Yep.
Yeah.
So like, there's connection there too.
Well,
Yeah.
and if we're looking at the end of Rebels, which is after the end of Return of the Jedi, Sabine and Ahsoka have also been reunited right now, and Sabine is a Mandalorian. So if we get
There's
that,
lots of threads they could pull on.
if they're getting to that casting too, like
think of how baller that would be if like you see him with like this brightly colored like painted armor, like doesn't remove the helmet or anything like that, but just you know
exactly who it is. Yeah,
like that would be like a pure nerd moment for fans of, especially obviously of Rebels, but
yeah, I'm just ridiculously excited. Fall can't be here soon enough for Mandalorian season 2. Yeah, like you gotta thank Disney for at least listening. I think someone already said it, like listening to the fans at least once, because
I'll never thank Disney, but I do like Star Wars. I'm just saying right now.
Thank the Force, okay?
Yeah, there we go.
Like you saw how like jumbled and confused the last movies have been, but then you watch The Mandalorian, and it's like, wow, they really got their shit together.
Yeah, there is some joy in Star Wars still for that.
It's like you got to let fans make the shows about the things they like, and somehow I don't know, it'll make sense.
Bring me the Christmas special.
Jeez. Sony this week finally did a big announcement about the PlayStation 5 and all its official tech specs. And I hate to say this, but from what I have on my little iPad screen here, it does look like the Xbox One, or not Xbox One, Xbox
it's Series X.
The Series X.
Yeah, the Xbox Sex.
The Xbox Sex
the Xbox Sex. I like that.
Has a bit of
The only sex
advantage
life many
right
people
now.
will have.
I'll be totally honest with you. I give two shits about the specs of both consoles, because to me, it's about your game library, what you do with it. And I mean, I've heard rumors that Microsoft went like, all right, we fucked up last generation. Like they're going hard on like third party titles this generation.
I mean, and they're. I mean, I know you don't care about specs, but they're going really hard on everything in this machine. I mean, you got 1 terabyte of internal storage. You have 10 gigs of memory, which is more than I have in my computer. 16 gigs of memory, which is more than I have in my computer. No.
Let me get my dial-up modem going here, and let's talk about this.
It's got expandable storage up to 1 terabyte, which is also awesome, and then USB 3.2, and then both of them are going to have, which they both 4K boxes, both the Xbox, what was the Xbox? The Xbox One that came out.
The One X?
Yeah, the One X should have had I think it does have a 4K drive, right?
Yeah, no, it does.
So
I think the Xbox had a 4K drive, period.
And the PS4 Pro never had one, which was, I think, a huge mistake. So both of these will have that, which is good, because that means I don't have to use my shitty LG
Consoles
4K
running
player.
4K. I can't even run 4K. For real, I can't run
Can
anymore.
you literally banish someone to the Shadow Realm?
I'm trying. We've been
It's
trying.
happened. I've come back.
No!
At the end of the day, like you said, you don't care
doesn't
about
even faze
specs.
me anymore.
Does everybody know? Like everybody knows what consoles they're getting in fall, winter. If you're upgrading,
I mean, they put out an official thing for Xbox, basically saying like Thanksgiving. Like they haven't given a day, but now they've got a specific window narrowed down. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm still on the fence, because I had a 360, which is great.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah, I love the
console.
360.
And then I was like, well, I guess I'm a Microsoft guy. So then I just got the Xbox One when I was stationed in Korea, and then I was so disappointed, because like everybody else had a PlayStation, like my sister, like they had games like The Last of Us, and then they had like God of War 4. And I'm like, man, all right, what's Microsoft's exclusive? And it's like
Gears of War.
Island of Thieves. What was it called again?
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves. Yeah, that I couldn't even remember. You know, and then Halo Wars 2. You don't drop an RTS as an exclusive. It doesn't work that way. It's
Jared's
very
like, my
niche.
bad time in Korea was because of Microsoft, not because of everything else. I'm just kidding.
But so like I'm on the fence, because if Microsoft is like gonna have better games available, then maybe I won't switch over. But like for the longest time, I was like, damn, I feel like I need to get a PlayStation next.
I wish I had enough money to just buy all the systems.
Right.
as we-
Yeah.
Right? Like-
yeah.
You could also just take crippling debt.
You could do that.
Only for Tom Nook, not in real life. I have student debt. That's the only debt I have right now.
I've always been a PlayStation guy, like from the beginning, except when I had
PlayStation.
an N64, and then I went to PlayStation, and that's been my life. So it's not about which one's better. It's just what I know. I have no disrespect or hate towards Xbox. I just prefer PlayStation. So obviously that's what I'm going to be getting. I know you're getting an Xbox Series X, whatever.
XX tricky.
I'm gonna get the Xbox.
Coming this fall.
Yeah.
The
Xbox
X.
XXX.
So yeah.
I like getting all the different systems. It's just hard, like, per generation, I can't always get all three. Sometimes I luck out and I get two. Like, right now, Jarrod has a Switch that he has, and I have the PS4. So, like, that's... Oh, and don't you have the Xbox One?
I do have the Xbox.
Yeah, so we're actually good right now. We got all three. But,
I would loan you guys Xbox games if I didn't know you guys even had.
I don't
Xbox.
think Jarrod plays it anymore.
We don't have it set up because you
okay.
have the PlayStation out there.
Yeah,
so.
never mind.
You guys just need more TVs in the house.
But
I mean, I could
that was
put the
one of the
PS4,
things that
but Mom
drove
doesn't
me
need it.
towards the Switch was just because of how like lackluster the library was for Xbox, and then Switch was like, hey, every game that's ever existed.
Yeah.
on here.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, I'm in. You got me.
I don't play my Switch as much as I would like to. I need
Get
to,
Animal Crossing. Easy. You play
I need
every
to
day.
remedy
Did you
that.
have children?
Yeah, well, they're playing like the Paw Patrol game on there right now. So, yeah.
Paw Patrol. We know how Julian
I'm about
feels
to
about
say,
Paw Patrol.
I can see Julian's hackle starting
Shameless
to rise
plug,
there.
guys. Go back to our old episodes in our archive on our website, and you will find amazing rants and raves. Even back in season 1, where I wasn't there yet.
Brittany's trying to say the show wasn't good.
Damn.
Josie
No, I'm just kidding. I listened to all of season 1. I
I'm
liked it.
Busting your
Bubble.
something.
Proverbial.
Balls. That's right.
That's fine.
Yep. Let's move on to our first topic of the day. We're going to talk about some of the worst films we've ever sat through. One of them we just did, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah. So I think Matt, yet another one of your genius ideas.
Unfortunately,
I don't know why you keep torturing yourself.
I don't know either.
He's a
But
masochist.
I don't know. Oh God, please hurt me more. Sorry, what?
Give me the butthole
He's going to get a tattoo on his back that just says VelociPastor to remind him.
I was there.
So, yeah.
Jarrod, we'll start with you because you are a guest, and we'll just do it as we always do, a little bit of round table here. What's one of the worst films that you have ever sat through? VelociPastor. Sorry.
The Toxic Avenger.
Oh my God.
If you've ever
totally
tried to
fucking
sit
forgot- I
through
hate that movie.
any of them, because I think they've done
Yeah.
3. I don't remember. They might have even done more.
Remember
I know the
G4
name, but I
TV?
can't picture the movie.
G4 TV would play that shit at night.
Yeah, G4 TV was known for playing cops all day, having
Good content for 3 hours.
Yeah,
Our video
2 shows.
We're a video game channel.
What did
Yeah.
G4 turn into? G4.
Nothing. It disappeared.
Nothing.
The channel got
shut
removed.
down.
I thought it might have. That might have.
You're
turned
thinking
into
of like
Esquire.
You're thinking
or,
of like
Yeah.
Spike TV
Yeah.
or whatever. It was.
I
Spike's turned
love
into
G4.
Paramount. Oh my God.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
But that movie, it's supposed to be like a superhero movie, but his power is garbage.
Yeah.
So the film was literally garbage.
I tried. I've given things a lot. I've watched a lot of weird shit at like 4 a.m, but that one I felt like vomiting afterwards. So that one's definitely up there because it was like they tried to be serious.
It's a really bad movie. It's bad. Matt, how about you?
So I wrote down 5 movies, and I saw all of these in theaters. So
Bless
Do you want a biscuit?
yeah, I'm just telling you that before I'm going to jump around my list. So I'm no particular order. Pearl Harbor.
Ooh, you saw that in theaters?
I did. Dude, I'm a history buff.
I
Of
know.
course I would have seen it in theaters.
But who
Yeah, I know,
watches
but-
the trailer for Pearl Harbor and goes, you know what? This will be a good one.
The same people who saw the trailer for Midway and went to go see that.
That's fair.
Midway's on my list, bitch.
I remember watching Pearl Harbor, and I think the scene that I literally was like, oh my fucking God, in theaters was when Ben Affleck is in Britain, in the Battle of Britain, and the British officer's like, if all Americans fly like you, God help everybody. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, man, come on. Like, literally, you couldn't have been like more America. Fuck yeah, at that moment.
America.
I mean, like the movie, like it's not historically accurate. It's a terrible fucking movie, and I cannot believe I saw it.
Jarrod made a very good point by saying you saw the trailer and decided to go see that. I saw the trailer and decided I will never watch that movie, and I've never seen Pearl Harbor. Period. End of story.
Also, fun fact, it also does the whole thing of like crashing into China, much like Midway did.
Isn't Liv Tyler in that?
Yes.
That's the only reason I saw it as a kid.
Josh Hartnett, Liv Tyler,
I'm just saying
Ben
it right
Affleck.
now. I know for a fact. I'm like, why did I watch that movie? Yeah, Liv Tyler was in it.
So that's my first one.
That actually brings me around to another movie, but
Lord of the
I'll
Rings?
wait.
I'm just kidding. I love Lord of the Rings.
I'll wait.
Brittany, go ahead.
I'm so concerned. I'm scared. God damn it. Ugh. The Last Airbender.
Ooh.
That
Yeah,
movie.
another one I refuse to see.
That movie.
Didn't you try to get up and walk out of it?
I did. There's only 2 movies in the movie theater that I ever gotten up and walked out of. Like, literally said, I have to go to the bathroom just because I've been so pissed. But at the time, once again, both the movies I will bring up, I saw in middle school. And I could not physically drive away. And I had a friend with me, so I could not desert them. But The Last Airbender, I loved Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
I like some of M. Night Shyamalan's films. I don't know why, but he couldn't just look at source material, make it directly from the source material. He had to change the pronunciation of characters' names. He had to make it so firebenders couldn't just produce fire from themselves and their own chi. He had to make them manipulate fire from sources around them. Just, it makes me angry. I'm
Brittany's so
physically
bad.
shaking.
We're hoping the Netflix
know.
series does it well.
But at the same time, I don't ever need to see it live action.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
And
the
it's
Netflix series
been
does justice.
horribly accused of
myself.
hardcore whitewashing.
Oh, it
yeah.
was extremely. And then
Sokka
I
and
get that-
Katara were white as hell.
they were white as hell. Oh, it was so bad. The characters were just so flat.
It's okay.
There was no depth. His
We'll get you
girlfriend,
to the
his
North
girlfriend
Pole.
became the moon again, and I didn't even care this time. I was like,
Yue?
just Yue.
Yeah, lore enough
I was
for
like,
Yue.
Yue girl, you're the only like slightly not white person in here. Get out. You're just gonna.
Earthbenders, you have Earth
do
all
something
around
better.
You. Fight. Like, oh, that's right. We got ground.
There are
all
no
around.
white
Yeah,
people in
we
the
could do
Avatar
that.
universe. There are none.
My God,
That's
why
the whole
didn't I think
point
of
of
that
it.
before?
Thank you, random white kid.
And the whole point of like the Fire Nation is supposed to be like the Japanese like militaristic side, and like they're just Indian.
Yeah.
Like Guru Patik was.
hello.
He
I
was
am Fire
supposed to
Lord
be because
Ozai.
he's teaching about like mindfulness
Yeah.
and like, oh my god. Anyway, they just destroyed their own lore, so I'm done.
Yeah.
We're good. I can't
So
talk about it.
Julian,
Well,
Which movie do you hate? 'Cause,
I will follow it up with something that I watched very recently, and oh man, it makes me so angry because
I love this. I love this for us.
I didn't leave the theater, and I really wanted to, but the movie was so fucking bad that like you had to stay to the end to make like see what happened, and it was just Uncut Gems with
oh yeah, you did hate
you
that.
remember mentioning
with
that.
Adam Sandler, and I like refused to talk about it on the show because it was just like, here they are saying, oh man, like here's Adam Sandler in like a brand new role, and it's like a serious
Yeah.
role for him, and I'm like, it's Adam Sandler being Adam Sandler in a drama heist whatever film, but I can't take him seriously because he sounds like Adam Sandler, swearing like Adam Sandler, and
Does he do the Adam Sandler yelling? Oh, how wonderful for you!
oh yeah, like literally the entire movie is him yelling, and like I swear to God, it might have had more F-bombs than Pulp Fiction. And I
Wow.
like, listen, I don't give a shit about swearing,
That's what they meant
about
by
The
the uncut
Departed?
part.
but and like there's no
Uncut Gems,
payoff.
the uncut
There's no
version.
payoff, and everybody's like, oh man, like he's gonna get an Oscar nom, and he didn't, and of course like everybody's like, oh, he should have gotten. Like, no, this movie was fucking awful. Like, there's no payoff. He's a horrible human being in the movie. Like, spoiler alert, he gets shot in the fucking eye at the end of the movie, and he deserves it.
Good for him.
Yeah, there are just no words to describe how pointless. Like, you cast as Dina Menzel in this movie as his wife too, and like you kind of feel bad for her, but she's also kind of an awful human being.
Julian,
and
you just gotta let it go, man.
I really did.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Oh my god! Like this movie was just so bad. Like the movie literally starts with a tube up his ass. He's getting a what do you-
Colonoscopy?
Thank you, a
Jesus,
colonoscopy.
man. I was like, I
Wow.
hope that's what he's getting.
Yeah. It's bad. Don't see it.
Okay.
I thought he was butt chugging in his tub. Like, I was like, this is going to take
He's
a weird
shoving
turn.
the diamonds up his ass.
And the last thing I actually want to say about it too is that like coming from a Jew, and Adam Sandler is a Jew, so like Jewish brotherhood here, like even being Jews, it's still borderline racist. Like how like you're stereotyping Jews in this movie with like the whole diamond thing and like Jewelers Row, and I'm like, come on, man. Like
You log in. Oh, is he bringing
Shameless.
some
I was gonna
money?
say,
Oh,
shameless,
boy.
Jared, I have a
pitch.
shameless,
Yeah.
shameless pitch for you. You go
Watch
ahead.
Hunters.
Yeah,
on
please
Amazon
watch
Prime.
Hunters, Julian. Please.
I wanna
with-
watch
with
that.
Al
I
Pacino
wanna
playing
watch
playing
that.
a Jew,
It's
right?
really good.
Yeah, I do want to see
His
that.
performance is actually really,
I laugh
really impressive.
and cry every episode,
Yeah.
multiple times.
I do want to see that show. I will start watching
Hey,
it.
Brittany,
Yeah.
do you know someone? Is that someone you?
Love
Okay,
that
then.
part. Oh, you'll know when you watch it.
All right.
Jared, back to you. Another
Oh,
horrible,
another-
horrible film.
Another horrible film. So for me, this one hurts because I was so excited for it, even though I wasn't alive when it was made.
Dungeons and Dragons?
That's on the list, but it's not this one.
Sorry, go ahead.
This one, I'm pretty sure it's on your list too. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
That was on my list.
Yep.
You got one of mine.
The worst
can
sequel
you
in my
watch
fucking
the
life.
first Mortal Kombat movie and like ride this high of like, you know what? The special effects are bad. Acting wasn't that great, but
it was a solid
amazing.
fucking.
Those
watching
are $500
video game movie.
sunglasses, asshole.
Yeah, like, and then having
was a
Shang
good
Tsung be
time,
like,
though.
"Your soul is mine," and
Yes.
you're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Yep.
And then you watch 2, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Out of
happened?
nowhere,
Earth
weird
is
storm. Like,
Earth is being invaded, and it is glorious.
yeah, right.
Yeah, and then like they have the animal shapes because that was like the animalities were
Yep.
like just coming out in that
Yep.
time period. But like, how can you have Shao Kahn in this one? You know, like one of the coolest fucking bad guys in Mortal Kombat, and he does the worst CG dragon battle I've seen in my life.
It's hard to
hurt.
make it past even the first 30 minutes of that movie because it starts off right away where the last movie ended.
Yes.
And then immediately you lose like two characters.
Yeah.
Just because one of the
They
actors
didn't
was
wanna
like,
see
I'm not
Doesn't
going
Johnny
to fucking
Cage
do
die
this.
in the first minute
Yeah.
of the film?
Yeah, he does.
Shao Kahn broke his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so I could tell some of the
alright.
actors were like, no.
yeah.
I remember a review of Mortal Kombat Annihilation from back in the day said, when Chris Lambert refuses to be in your movie, that should tell you something about it.
Yeah.
Because Chris Lambert will do just about
Yeah.
anything for a paycheck.
Yep.
So
Because he was what, Raiden in the first one?
He was
Yeah.
right in the first movie.
And
yeah.
then in the next one, it's some completely different dude, and you're like, what the fuck?
I feel like I know the actor in the second one. I know he's been in other stuff, but I can't think of his name. I can picture his face.
it doesn't even matter.
No, it doesn't.
doesn't even matter.
It doesn't.
Speaking of things that don't matter.
I have a weird fun fact I want to bring up to you guys because I considered putting this film on my list. Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Wait, what?
Paul
you
Blart
watched
Mall
the-
Cop 2. Hold on.
watched either
I
of
watched
them.
this with my film students because we were proving a theory. The entire thing is set to a Pink Floyd album. I shit you not. Look this up later. But if you watch it, literally how the songs flow into each other and where like the breaks are and different things happen determine when he's like hit by something or when different things occur. And it's too close for it to just be a coincidence.
So like Wizard of Oz
yeah,
and
like
Dark
Wizard
Side
of
the Moon.
Oz,
yeah, like literally, no, that's it. It's Dark Side of the Moon, but it's like Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
What the fuck?
Weirdest shit. But anyway, I just wanted to bring it up because I just remembered it.
A movie
Don't
I'll
watch it.
never watch.
Yeah, but if you do, play the album with it. That's
All
what I'm
right.
saying.
Well, since one of mine was taken, I'll go to another one. I don't even need to say this movie title because you should know exactly what it is when I say Bat Credit Card.
Batman and Robin.
Yes.
I never
saw
leave the bad game without it.
I saw it in theaters, and I remember I was
Me too.
I was like, oh man, this will be so good. Like the Bat movies have been real, and I'd kind of like pushed Forever to the side and be like, all right, Forever was okay, but then Batman and Robin, man, holy shit, like
Bat nipples.
Bat nipples. Arnold
Alicia
Schwarzenegger
Silverstone's
as
bat
Mr.
thighs.
Freeze. Oh god,
At least they didn't give her batsuit bat nipples.
I think
That's
it would have
sexism.
been illegal.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
you know how they already are about
Yeah.
censoring nipples and
Yeah.
like, you can't feed your baby in public. But
Yeah.
they're like, men?
Men,
Homoeroticism?
yeah.
They literally made
do it.
like a movie so bad to kill a solid franchise. Like it was just the nail in the coffin.
And at least to Joel Schumacher's credit, he's been like, I'm sorry. I thought we were doing something we clearly weren't.
yeah,
That is a steaming hot pile of garbage.
Batman and Robin.
At least you could forgive like portions of Batman Forever. Like Batman and Robin is just a steaming hot pile of trash, like the color of toxin going into Bane's muscles. It's just oh my god.
R.I.P. my childhood.
The Batmobile like is
It's
ugly.
Like,
it's like
oh my-
glowing.
There's like a fucking nuclear reactor in it at that point.
Take 2 of these and see me in the morning.
I always remember the guys from Mystery Science Theater, the Riff Tracks guys. Now they did that. They did Batman and Robin, and that part when he goes like, "What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age." And I remember one of them goes, "I guess huge frickin' meteor wouldn't have been a very good ice pun." Huh?
Nope, it wouldn't have. Unless the meteor had ice inside. It might have.
All right, Brittany. Well, you're up.
Well, to follow up a bat-related film, Catwoman.
Ooh,
Saw that shit in theaters.
I never.
about
You
that.
saw
I
it.
did too. I
The
saw it in
basketball
theaters, too.
scene alone drives me insane. That just like
What is up with
early
early 2000s like superhero films and then wanting to do something sports related?
Yeah,
with
right.
It?
You all give me shit for seeing Pearl Harbor,
Hold
and
on.
you saw Catwoman in
To be fair,
theaters.
a
how
good
old was
reason.
I?
There's a good
How
reason.
the fuck old was I? And it
You
was,
should have known
and I was gay, and it was Halle Berry. Calm down. I saw her in James Bond, and I was
Just
like,
think
yes.
they're neat.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Die Another Day was my favorite James Bond film for a long time.
I'm sorry, what?
When I saw it when I was like 5.
Your parents took you to see Catwoman when you were that?
I've seen many. I saw Matrix when it came out.
That's fair.
No,
Yeah,
That was
would make you 5 years
1999.
old.
I'm not disputing that,
I saw
but I
Matrix
mean-
when I was 5. That's the
I'm
reason
s-
I don't like people touching my belly button because I think of that weird thing they call this belly button.
No, I'm just picturing like any like rational adult. Like, let's go see Catwoman.
I have a valid reason, and that's I was at boarding school at the time
Superhero
at my
movies.
high school in the middle of nowhere, Connecticut, and we had one movie theater that we went to, and the options were limited. And unless you were a senior, you could not see rated R movies. So fucking Halle Berry and Catwoman was the option that night. So I saw it.
I still remember there
This
was
is the closest I'm getting to titties tonight.
it was a thing for Oprah Winfrey's birthday, and Halle Berry appeared in full outfit because she was still filming the movie, and she was like literally like to one of the strongest, whoosh, and she like whips.
I remember.
Yeah, and she's like meow at the end
Oh,
of it, and I
God.
was like, oh my god.
Brittany repressed a lot of that.
No.
Oh, Catwoman. Oh my god. I will go next to the only movie that I think I've ever walked out of. And that was, I think it's
The Brothers Grimm? Because you've talked about that like 8 times.
Well, fuck you, Brittany.
I'm just saying, I hope it's that one.
Oh my god.
But I have to mention it because we're talking about worst
got
films we've ever
ambushed.
sat through. I did. I literally just got fucking ambushed. Yes, The Brothers Grimm. I walked out
You
of
seemed
it.
like you were going to forget the name, and I was like, bitch, we all know.
I wasn't going to forget the name. I was going to talk about the actors in it. You know what?
It's out of love. It's out of love. I swear.
Shut up, Wesley.
It's out of love.
Shut up. Shut up, Wesley. Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Brittany.
Love you, Julian.
Fuck you.
No, tell me about how you hate this film.
Oh man.
I can't because I walked out of it.
Yeah, true. He's like, I
I
don't know about
walked out
this.
halfway through.
Who was it? Matt Damon? Who else was in that
It was him and our Heath Ledger.
Matt Damon.
I was about to
Wow.
say Jake Gyllenhaal, but it was
John Jacob.
anyway. The Brothers Grimm was awful. I don't remember most of it because I walked out. And I will be short because, yeah.
It was a pretty grim experience for him.
Oh, God.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Back to you.
For me, I guess the next one that comes to mind is the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Fuck that. That movie's
That
amazing.
movie's
I wanted
amazing,
to
Jared.
see that movie.
Garbage. It is.
I watched that with Mom. It's
doo-doo.
fun.
I watched that movie and I was like,
It's peak cinema.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Okay.
kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
seriously reconsidered like my life at that point.
You're allowed to.
I sat there and I was like,
I thought he was going to say, like, I reconsidered whether Abraham Lincoln was, like, the greatest president or something like that.
you know what? I thought he should be stricken from the penny.
I guess you could say the stakes were too high.
You're running out of sound bites.
I am. It's getting bad.
You can't stop.
I got nothing.
Didn't he use axes in that movie?
Yes.
Did.
They should have given the axe to it.
It was just so ludicrous. Like I get why like there's stuff like, oh, we're gonna take like a historical figure,
Dude.
give him a twist. Oh, why
Do you
not?
like when they did like the letters to his wife and shit in there
No,
too?
I hated it.
I know, it was
I
horrible.
hated the whole thing. It made me want to vomit.
I've
Anyway.
actually run out of sound bites for you.
We need to get more. Here's a challenge, wonderful viewers. Send us amazing sound bites to use in the show.
To shame Brittany. Not for anybody else, just for
Oh, I mean,
Brittany.
even just like sound effects.
Just for
But
Brittany.
mostly to shame me.
Girl, why are you acting so cray cray?
Yeah, that one's good.
That one's a great sound
From
bite,
Gravity
yeah.
Falls.
Yeah, there's one.
I love that one.
We got time for, I think, one more round. Go ahead, Matt.
All right, so my number one movie, and I put this up against pretty much any other bad movie. It might not be for other people, but it is for me. Is Wing Commander.
Oh,
Speaking of
Jared's
movies that he doesn't, that people don't stop talking
I
about, you didn't
forgot.
call him out on his Wing Commander bullshit,
She
Brittany.
doesn't remember that.
To be fair, he's only talked about Wing Commander since we talked about doing this segment.
Yes.
Before that, he never brought it up. Brothers Grimm, you've brought up many times. Sometimes in unrelated instances, you're just like, remember Brothers Grimm? And I'm like, no, I've never seen it. And he's like, I fucking hate it.
But yes, Wing Commander is my ultimate number one most. I hated that movie. I didn't walk out of it. I still regret because two of my friends went and saw it with me. My friends Rob and Tony, and I think I sent you guys the screen cap at one point of like this Kilrathi thing, like talking, and we saw it in theaters. It goes like, it says a lot, like a line with like a surprise. Obviously, there's an exclamation point. And it says, like, that's not the Confederation fleet. In the theater, there were 3 exclamation points. And I remember my friend Tony leans over to me and goes, not 1, but 3 exclamation points, Matt. Because they were busting my balls because I was the one who, like, got us to go to this movie. And it was complete garbage.
I love Jarrod's shared, like, dead eyes that just happened. Like, now the shine is gone.
The
He's
1,000-yard stare as you relive the flashbacks. Yeah.
Yep. But that is my ultimate bad movie. I own it digitally just because, like, I always want.
Worst movie he's ever seen, and yet he owns it.
I got it for like $2. Don't worry about it.
Meanwhile, he's talking about buying Cats.
Hey, you know what?
Not on any of our lists.
Like Cats was at least entertainingly bad. It's kind of like The Room. It's
had a budget.
Yes.
Did it with all that unfinished CGI and?
I feel
That's
like
another reason I
they
kind of
see
want
one
to go.
DLC.
butthole cut.
on the
butthole cut. Release the crack.
I want to see
in.
if they fix the CGI as well in the release.
I feel
I'm
like I'd
very
enjoyed
curious.
Cats more the second time. Because the first time I had so much anxiety, I was like sweating and like my heart was palpitating.
And
But
we
now
had
I think
awkward
I'm
people
prepared.
show up.
Palpatingling.
And we
Yeah.
had
Not
a
the good Palpatine.
and we had a legit fan in front of us who probably would have gotten pissed.
She was
True.
the,
If she
was
wasn't
the
there, if it
best.
was just us, we would have like should just brought a little recorder and like just heard our audio live.
Yes, they're cats. Their size is ambiguous, all right? Stop asking.
Exactly.
They're jellicle. That should answer all of your questions.
What is Angelical Cat?
I bet Jarrod only knows this from me ranting about it. He still hasn't seen it.
Nope, not going to. I didn't see those 4 VHSs our grandpa had. I'm not seeing it in theaters.
Shit, I gotta pick one.
Yeah, pick the big one on that list. I
There's
see.
a lot of big ones.
Here, let me see. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
Pass that over.
Oh,
I'll let
here we
Jarrod
go.
pick the last
yeah,
one I
yeah.
get to rant about.
I know her pretty well. All right, let's see. Ooh.
Yeah, right?
I can't see the list.
You
It's
see
on-
me at the bottom left?
Oh, dude. I would probably.
Or do you want to rant about the bottom left? You know what I mean? We both were traumatized by that.
You do bottom left. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay, guys, you ready?
Do it.
Mario Brothers, the movie.
Oh, I didn't even see that on there.
I-
God damn.
I
Yep.
saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
I think that's all we need to say about that.
Like,
Really?
I literally posted a meme, I think, on our page about it already, but like, just look at how they did Goombas. Just look at what the fuck
Yes.
they did to Goombas. The Goombas are like weird dinosaur reptilian fucking big dudes with like small dinosaur heads. Like, what the
Dennis Hopper's
fuck?
Bowser.
John Leguizamo was in it. Like,
Bob Hoskins.
I mean, I'd like, yeah, Bob Hoskins too. Oh god. Anyway, like wasted potential with like the actors they had. They tried to do that weird thing where they were trying to make it like a darker tone, like Ghostbusters-y vibes around the time because I guess Ghostbusters did so well beforehand. And like, no, there's a tone that goes with Mario, and you did not fucking hit it.
Do you remember when that movie got recommended to us?
Yeah.
They were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you like those games? There's a movie," and we were like, "Oh boy!"
Oh boy, and then we fucking watched it.
failure.
That movie is pure hot
It is.
something.
I think
Toxic
you repressed
waste.
most of it, but like,
Like the Toxic Avenger.
Can we
So
just
angry.
can we just say that the modern generation is like so spoiled with like their properties being
they're
like
good budgets.
good
Yeah.
budgets, like getting like Sonic was
Sonic happened.
like comic book movies are like the biggest thing ever,
And even the flops of them are still amazing.
The
I'm like,
redesign of Sonic
Oh,
on top
thank
of
God.
that, because it's not even that they got a Sonic movie because it looked like it was going to be bad.
got a
and then they
redesign.
changed it, and then it looked a lot better.
And it was good.
Yeah.
even the bad, not redesigned Sonic probably would have been better than fucking Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Here's a good one that maybe fell off the radar a little bit. another. It was
another good one.
another like
Good one to hate.
This was the choice boarding school movie night at the Midway Theater.
What happened to you in that
Midway
boarding
theater.
school?
Nothing. It was just we had one theater that we went to.
Jillian
Nothing
hasn't
in
been
the
the same.
school.
I like how it
That's the
seems like
theater.
a good chunk of your list is from the boarding school.
It is. That's what we went to movies every Saturday.
Oh my God.
Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
And
Hold on, hold on.
Oh boy.
Van Helsing was my life as a child.
what?
That
That movie is different. The movie is
the
different if you're kids.
No, it's not.
movie
It is.
I feel like I could call this
sucks.
argument like a wrestling. Here comes the
movie-
Tomes Foundation with a chair. Oh, Julie's
The
going down.
movie sucks. But god damn it if I don't stand by Hugh, all right? He performed.
Van Helsing is literally like, let's bank off of Hugh Jackman being Wolverine. Let's also
They're
bank
banking off of Underworld.
Hold on, I was about
Yeah.
to say, let's bank off of Kate Beckinsale being a vampire in Underworld, and then let's put them in a vampire hunting movie. And it was such pure hot garbage.
I mean, the movie is not good, but I will admit I do love Kate Beckinsale.
I mean, yeah, you could love Kate Beckinsale in all her awesome glory and still think this movie is trash. It is so bad. So bad.
Dracula's walking up the walls.
Jarrod and I are personally offended.
Yeah, well,
I'm not. He's
No, I'm
right.
just
It's
kidding.
a bad
No, we know,
movie.
we know.
But at the same time, it's still one like you could have on your TV
in the background
and be like,
around Halloween.
"Oh, that's garbage." You know?
Jarrod, remember when we saw Underworld in theaters?
Oh, you mean when we were like
At midnight when we were 4?
Yeah, it's like it was more like we were
Wow.
6 or
Your
7.
parents?
We were obsessed.
We were
No,
6 or
the thing
7.
is, okay,
like, story time.
we would be watched by our aunt growing up, especially during the summer and stuff, because our parents are always working, and she had different like night hours or whatever. So we didn't always have like air conditioning and things during the summer. So we'd pick like one day we'd go to the swimming pool. Other days we go to the movie theater. We would do this thing. I thought movie theaters were a magical place where you buy one ticket and you stay there all day, like an amusement park. This is false. I learned that later on, a few years later.
Oh my god.
But we would
Clueless
go.
and Apollo 13.
We would go theater hopping. So my aunt would buy us tickets for matinees in the morning, pay the bare minimum for films, and we would hop around to like we'd plan out our day. We'd circle them ahead of time. She'd be like, "Okay, we're gonna see this in the morning," like mostly the kiddie ones, and then slowly throughout the day we'd see like more progressively adult films. Whatever.
We saw The Matrix this way.
We saw The Matrix.
the first Lord of the Rings movie.
Yep, Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
We saw films like Dinosaur, Spirited Away.
The Pokemon movie. I
Yeah.
think it was like probably the third one by then.
Yeah, but then we
Sorry,
saw
guys.
like, and when we would see scary, like if she was watching a scary movie, we would just like
Cover
take
your
a
eyes.
nap then or cover our eyes and ears for the whole film.
To be in the Tomes
Jesus,
family.
I know.
But-
What the
Can I
hell?
talk about
I'll never
Lost in
forget-
Translation?
Oh
Tome-
my God, Lost in Translation.
The Tomes Crime Syndicate, you mean
Hold
now?
on, hold on. I still have yet to see Lost in Translation because the beginning stresses me out.
Oh my
Finish what you're
She
saying.
didn't realize the film it was.
Finish what you're saying, Brittany.
But anyway, Underworld at midnight, we saw it. It was the very last showing of the night, and we would go down to the very like lower seats and pull back all like the arm rests and like lay down and sleep, or like lay down and like watch the movies. But we were really into that one. We didn't sleep at all. We were like, whoa. So
Great movie.
Another
what I think
strong
of every
female
time.
character in black leather for you, huh?
that wasn't it.
Bullshit.
Okay.
That's it for everybody.
No,
And
yeah,
it
but I
had-
just mean like that's not why we loved Underworld, because it was cool
Yeah,
and
it
it was
was
like
just-
werewolves and vampires, and I love werewolves. So,
Michael Sheen in a very early role for
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
amazing actor.
and now you guys know our illegal childhood actions.
Love it.
You
Only
know how I
some.
used to look
You're
at
under
the
arrest.
newspaper to see the listings
Yeah.
for. She looked, and I swear to God, she
She would
read
circle.
Lost in Transylvania.
Yeah, she thought that because she knew we like vampires.
So she was like, "Oh, cool! This sounds amazing."
Yeah.
So we go in, and then I think we sat there for 25 minutes before she goes, "This doesn't have vampires in it at all."
I'd like a refund, please. There are no vampires in
We
this
were
movie.
far too young for that film.
Your last movie, Jerry.
All right, my last movie. Oh boy. All right, so my last movie would probably have to be. I'm gonna steal this one off of Brittany's list. Aragon.
I never saw
As
it.
Never saw
I
it.
read the books as at a very young age, impressionable age. I love fantasy novels, and just to see like everything wrong. It was like that movie in particular was like, we're gonna adapt a book, but we're gonna make almost every single fact wrong. It's like they wanted to go out of their way to make
Everything that makes
wrong.
sense. Yeah.
Like the dragon's blue. All right, we did that. That's as close as we're gonna stay.
That's it. That's it for the whole film.
Everything else out the fucking window. And I mean, this is like it ended up being like a 3 or 4 book
It
series.
should have been like a 5 movie. It should have been
Yeah.
as big as like Harry Potter and everything else at the time.
Yeah, because it was
not.
like really big following for I guess young adults in fantasy
big book
books.
series, yeah.
And it just hot garbage in the movie form, and it hurt.
There was like a period of like in the 2000s when like young adult fiction like movies were being made left and right. Like
Oh, yeah.
Harry Potter, Aragon,
Yep.
Hunger Games,
Yep.
like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hunger
no, that's
Games
true.
movies are pretty
Yeah,
good.
they
They're
are.
just like
They are.
still not as good as the books. Cause
I'm not
books
saying
are
they're
great.
good or bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it
Yeah.
was being made.
Yep.
it's true.
But it was like they did it out of spite. They did that one.
They did.
Screw all of
Aragon,
you.
they were like, how do we hurt these
How do we
impressionable
not make
readers?
this a franchise? Everybody wants franchises now, but back then they were like, how do we go out of our way to not make more of these?
Oh man.
I do just want to say real quick before we move on to Raiders of the Bargain Bin, two honorable mentions that were on Brittany's list that we didn't get to talk about. Transformers 2 and Midway. But if you want to hear our review of Midway,
Not
you could just...
Spider-Man 3? Everybody knows that.
I didn't see
Everybody
that
knows
on there.
Spider-Man
I had
3.
Okay.
Speed. I had Speed 2 as one of mine.
Speed 2 is bad.
Speed 2.
Speed 2 is peak trash.
Speed 2 makes Speed 1 look like the greatest fucking film ever.
Oh, sorry. Anyway.
Sonic's favorite film, Speed.
Like, how do you get in the same situation again?
It was with a boat
And
this
with
time.
a boat.
How do you let this happen?
I feel like Sandra Bullock just got into like a lot of bad situations back then. Like, what was it? The Net she was also in. Like, she got hacked and her like
How many, like, she won an Oscar at some point, but for, like, whatever.
I thought
but
it was
Miss Congeniality, right?
No,
No, it was
for
The Blind Side.
Blind
Side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Blind
but she
Side.
all about Steve and a lot. But Sandra Bullock's been in a lot.
She had
of
to
shitty
do it.
movies.
She had to do a lot of bad movies to get the good
Well,
ones.
did anybody see Gravity? I didn't see it.
I didn't see.
I
it.
liked
I liked
Gravity.
Gravity. I
was
actually
good?
liked Gravity.
Okay. All right.
Although some scientists don't agree with it.
Well,
Aesthetically, I was like, yes. Wasn't that Alfonso Cuarón did that?
I
Yes.
believe so.
I was
Yes.
like, yes, Alfonso, go off. Aesthetically, glorious.
All right, Matt. Let's get to it. It is the return of
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
The Raiders of the Bargain Bin.
the Raiders of the Bargain Bin. You asked,
God.
we reluctantly listened.
We grudgingly acquiesced.
something, the VelociPastor.
I was having fun, and then I forgot about this film, and now I want to take back everything I said about the previous films in the last segment.
We're trying to be somewhat good about the whole social distancing thing. So we didn't get to watch the movie together. We all stayed in our separate houses. But we are here talking about it together now. Let's get this out of the way, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. Rotten Tomatoes score, 58% critic score. Like, that's not good, but that's still way too high.
We should have stacked this up against other bargain bin movies we've watched.
We
because
should have.
I feel like that there would have been some movies that are below this one, and critic score at least,
that are
Or-
better movies.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
have got.
far
I
better.
legit would have gotten pissed. I
Yeah.
would have been like, "What the fuck is up with people?"
Friend request.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I would
Friend
watch
Request again,
over
yeah.
this one.
Wow.
I would watch Robin Hood again just to yell at it over this. Okay, so
Damn.
let's put that out there.
Hemlines be damned. What time period did this take place in, please?
It was either the 70s or the 90s, according to Karen. We'll get to
The
that.
family car.
Yeah.
That was totally a 90s car.
Yeah.
But then,
But then-
he's
The-
leaning on a Camaro.
And also the
and the leather
outfits.
jacket and her dress.
And how the dude was in Nam.
Let's make
We're getting ahead.
even
Stop
more
it.
or less sense of the Rotten Tomatoes score because
I'm going to say this is inflated because of the quarantine. That's all I can say. Like, people are at home right now watching this out of boredom or for something to laugh at.
I don't know. Let's
No way this is
let's
good.
say it real quick.
Yeah.
It's got a 74% audience score. Like, what the fuck?
All I can say is C's get degrees. That's all I can say about this. Some film students thought because they got a budget, because they're probably fucking white and male, decided they could just like make a film. This was not a film. I would never call this a film. This was not a movie.
Like this literally is something, and I think I said before we record, is like what we would make if we're like, yeah, let's sit down and make some shitty movie.
And my
guys.
response to you was that we could make a better movie. I like to think that
If we crowdfunded and had the funds, yes.
I like to say we produce a pretty damn good podcast. I think we could produce a good movie. You know, a movie is bad and not really a movie and made by a bunch of like white stoned college students when you could literally hear some of the cuts being made like from scene to scene. And it just
They
like,
also, I feel like they tried to do parody, like in the way that like Black Dynamite did it, where like if there's a boom mic, it's funny, you know. But like, they did not do it right. They don't understand what it means to be a parody film. Like they,
Because
it
I
was
felt
bad.
like maybe one or two people on the project genuinely cared. They were like,
Yeah.
I'm actually going to make a movie. And then nobody else got that. They were
Yeah.
like, and now we're going to turn this into,
Yeah.
we're filming in our friend's
You're like,
backyard.
this is
But-
Asylum Pictures.
I actually feel like pretty much as soon as we're kind of delving into thoughts, but as soon as that whole intro thing with his parents
The
being
car exploding.
yeah, VFX like car on fire was on the that's all it said on screen. As soon as that popped up, I was like, they know this movie sucked. Like they weren't taking it seriously. It's like trying to rip Sharknado. Like they know what they're doing is ridiculous.
But Sharknado at least was purposefully made to be ridiculous.
I would watch
and funny.
Sharknado 5 over this. Like, it's...
And you know what really sucks about that VFX part? Like, did you guys ever see like those Ugandan guys that make their own movies and they have the special effects? Like the special effects in those are bad, but like they enjoy making
they
things,
still
and you
try.
can tell.
Yeah.
Like the helicopter is like bigger than buildings sometimes because aspect ratio.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, this was just pure, like,
But this
it was lazy.
like,
This is like-
we did a thing, guys.
They thought it would be funnier to be like car. Like I taught film for high school, and one of my students would even like he could videotape like a car and then put a smoke effect on it. It's like you could tell a student made this, but they still tried.
Yeah.
Just even like
Nothing.
try and be a little bit more funny, and like maybe cut to like Lars and Baru burning on their homestead. Like that would have been funny,
right.
you know?
or
Stock footage.
like
Yeah, exactly.
like
Good old Skywalker
using
cookout.
the same thing again and again. Like if they
Yeah.
had like a car explosion for like a shitty 70s
Even a
movie,
model car.
and then
They could just light a fake little car on fire.
It's like some lighter
Use it.
fluid
Yeah.
and just light it on fire. Like literally anything would have been better than their one graphic design friend.
But immediately when that happened, I
did it.
laughed out loud and I went, "Oh God, we're fucking done!" Like
They
this
went
film.
across to another dorm room. We're like, "Yo, can you make a car on fire for us?" She's like, "Sure can, bud."
You know what's really bad news when like we've already diverged into like
Tearing it apart.
just tearing it apart.
I was about to say,
without-
like, we haven't gotten
but
our
it's
thoughts.
because it was just an hour and 10 minutes of like I couldn't laugh. I couldn't.
If I laughed,
I
it's
didn't
because
smile.
I wanted it to be over.
Yeah.
I paused this movie at least 3 or 4 times because like it was like, oh, an hour and 10 minutes. This will be over before I know it. Like
4
I'll
hours
just
later.
watch it.
Shortest bargain bin
That's
we've
what I
had.
thought too. I was like, man, it's an hour. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And then like literally I paused it at one point. I'm like, I gotta be like halfway in. I was like 20 minutes and I was like, holy shit. Like I'm in deep trouble right now. I paused it like 3 or 4 times just to see how much time was left in this goddamn movie.
It was like every time you thought it was over, they hit you with that SpongeBob cutaway where it was like
Yeah.
one eternity later.
Yeah.
And it's still
Or they'd
going.
introduce another plot point that was totally not in there to begin with, and they're just like, no,
What
there's
what
this.
was his name? The pimp.
Oh, Frank fucking Mermaid.
Why is my
You know,
last
like,
name Mermaid?
Because you're swimming in
Because you're
bitches.
swimming in bitches. Like, it's not even like good quotable. Like Black Dynamite was purposely like parody blaxploitation. Like every line of that film makes me fucking crack up. And that's a film that like wasn't supposed to be a serious film, but they took it not being a serious film seriously. This one, I was just like, Frank Mermaid. Just immediately when like they introduced the only female character in the film, and
And
she's
she
got to
gets
be a
slapped, right?
prostitute, and she
Carol.
gets slapped immediately and yelled
I was,
at.
like,
I was
pissed
like,
off at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was like, cool. I know how I'll feel as a woman watching this entire
It's
film.
okay. She wore
already
like the
knew.
most awkward cut onesie
Right?
I've ever seen in my entire
Oh, at
life
the
and
end,
fought
right?
ninjas.
I like that she like randomly knew how to fight out of nowhere and was
Well,
like
the-
kicking ass, but like aside
There's
from
that
that,
whole fake training montage.
When
Yeah.
the ninjas jump through her bedroom window and she starts I'm like, what the fuck did Carol
we said
know
the same
how to
thing when
do
they got up and
this?
both of them started fighting. I was like, what the fuck? Carol.
Can we also
Carol deserved better.
Doug and Carol.
can we talk about the fact that this movie is named VelociPastor? One,
You wanna know why?
Hold on. The dinosaur is not even a fucking raptor. It's a really bad, cheap T-Rex suit.
When you see it in its full daylight glory.
Oh my god. 2, he was a pastor for what, like 10 minutes in this movie, and then
Yep.
all of a sudden fucking the one girl in the movie? Like, come on, man.
I-
At least stick to the title of your movie.
I noticed that like early on in his little pastor outfit, it looked like he was wearing like a long because it was like a black and a slightly different shade of black on his arms. Like they couldn't
even get
couldn't get like a
And, like,
proper
on the neck,
Yeah,
too,
the
yeah.
collar looked
Yeah.
like they couldn't get like a fake priest
No, they
collar.
spent all their budget on their not blowing up car. It's just,
It's interesting to see what they spent the budget on.
Brittany,
Blood.
let's
Dude,
get
there's so
into it.
much-
Let's actually
so
try
much
and
shit.
get some structure here. Unlike
First, I'm going
Velociraptor.
to say
Go
the
ahead.
only difference between raptor and pastor is one letter. It also makes you think of rapture, which is what I wish would have happened before I finished this film. I wish I would have just been fucking taken away.
I mean,
Sorry.
coronavirus.
Yeah, right? Okay, here we are. This is one of the plagues, kids. I'm just like stare at the top. One thing that got me like, he's randomly in China. And like it's blatantly a forest in Pennsylvania.
Vancouver,
Like,
Pennsylvania.
Yes.
we recognize the trees. Like Jared and I said immediately, we're like,
obviously,
those
he was
are
in
those are
China
supposed to be-
because
yeah,
he
we're like,
looked
wow,
right
China.
into the camera and
and
said,
said, east.
China.
That's where China is.
China
Yeah.
is easy.
Oh, how fucking racist
Yeah.
is that too,
Okay,
though?
yeah.
Like, come on.
Dude, immediately you see this girl running in the most stereotypical Chinese outfit. Like she looks like she just like escaped from a rice paddy,
And a
like
bow
running.
and
I don't even know
arrow.
what. And she gets shot by a bow and arrow and is laying there. And I was like, God. Like immediately I was like, cool. I feel like the racism starts.
when
The only
that,
other female character.
when that happened and he goes up to her and he goes like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
That could have been a funny moment for her to just kind of look down
Yeah,
at the
be like,
arrow and
"No."
just look back at him or something like
But
that.
she was actually like acting, and she's like, "You need to destroy this," and it's like a raptor claw. But
It wasn't even a raptor claw. It was
I don't know.
paper mache
Yeah,
thing
no,
they
it was
probably
bad.
cobbled
And he gets
together.
cut by it.
It
The
looked more
acting,
like
terrible.
a fucking shark tooth.
But the thing that bothered me about this
Giant
film
shark tooth.
is that supposedly he gets this raptor tooth or claw, whatever, from China. And yet he's being attacked by ninjas the entire time. Ninjas. Ninjutsu. From Japan. I'm done. I'm just,
Brittany's
I
done.
wish we were doing video
And
of this
half of
because
them-
Brittany is so pissed right now, and I'm loving it.
Because I love and appreciate Asian culture. I did martial arts. I know about all these different types of martial arts, and I just get pissed when people just are like, karate, the big word. That means everything. Go ahead. And I'm just like,
No,
There's
and this
different
movie is like
provinces, yeah.
blatantly racist. Like,
yeah. I'm surprised they even got 2 actual Asian actors to be in it because I was just like, oh God, how much did they pay you?
That's
I
where
hope-
the budget
I hope
went.
when they
That's
spoke-
where the budget
The-
went.
the hush money.
I hope when they spoke Chinese, they were like talking shit about this film to be like, dumbass Guai Lo over here, which by the way means
Guai
wide
Lo.
eye. I love when they say that. Oh God, I can't.
well,
I think I'm done. I
let's-
don't even know what I was
Matt,
gonna
go
say.
ahead.
So, like, other than, like, as I said, I was pretty much like, as soon as that VFX car explosion thing happened within the first like minute or two of the movie, I was like, oh God, we're in for quite a ride here. But the one part that I seriously was like, Heather was taking a nap, so I couldn't be screaming at my TV, but in my head, I was going,
It wasn't worth screaming at, though. It like wasn't even worth it.
well, where I was just like, what the fuck is happening is after he turns into the dinosaur for the first time and he kills that dude who's trying to rob Carol, and she brings him back to her apartment
Yes.
and she walks into the room. She's wearing this skimpy little outfit
Oh
and
my
then
God.
and she has like a cup of coffee or tea or something, and she sits on the
Sips
bed
it seductively.
and she like just like
Yeah.
blows on it and just sips it, and she's like, oh, that was like great last night or whatever she
Yeah.
said, and I was
and
like,
he's like,
Last
oh God, I'm a
night
pastor.
was amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
We literally were like, did she fuck the raptor? Like, we,
I immediately looked over to Brittany and I was like, did
Like-
she fuck the raptor?
like I was
Yeah.
seriously waiting for like a quick flashback to see the raptor going in the bed or something. I was like, oh
Thank
my
God.
god.
That might have actually been funny and maybe a
Nope.
better plot. I don't know.
I would have turned off immediately. I've been like, fuck white boys, I'm done.
It at least would have added some kind of shock value to this. Otherwise,
It would have been funnier if she like contracted it like lycanthropy and then they're both raptors.
That's what I thought was going to happen at the
Yes,
end.
thank you.
Yeah. I was like, all right, she's recovering faster than we thought. In fact, you
How
can
the
go
fuck
see
did
her
that
now.
happen?
She
I'm
got her
fine.
fucking chest
fine.
slashed open, and they're like, oh yeah, she's good now. So I was like, okay,
and they
she's
had
totally
to put
a
on the
fucking,
screen. She's fine.
yeah, it's like she's totally a fucking dinosaur now, right?
I felt like they were trying to do Quentin Tarantino when they did She's Fine.
They literally ripped off Kill Bill
yes.
in his driving sequence even. Like immediately I told you, I was like, this is Kill Bill shot for shot. This is American Werewolf in London shot for shot. Like,
Brittany is like so offended by this.
Oh no,
mad
I'm
because
with
you could
her.
tell they were in their fucking dorm room, watched Kill Bill and American Werewolf in London, were like,
We can do this.
oh, we can totally do this. And then like, no, you can't. You fucking can't. They're cult classics for a reason.
Jarrod, your thoughts on the VelociPastor?
I mean, everything Brittany's saying, we watched it in the same room, and like if you probably put on American Werewolf in London and put it on next to that movie at the same time, it'll be like, and now the love interest is falling in love at the same time. She's saying that he's not a monster and he has a heart at the same time, and like I just felt like they took a bunch of movies that they thought were great. And we're like, let's do it.
Hell yeah, bruh.
I love how funny Mel Brooks's movies are in the 70s. Let's try to make one like that. You know, yeah, his jokes haven't gotten old yet or really out of date.
Yeah, we're uncomfortable.
The Chinamen say "Chinga Chong Chu,"
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh my god, dude, this movie."
He literally,
what
the one other
fuck?
pastor said the Chinese said this, and I literally like flinched. I was like, did he just say the Chinese?
Oh no, but there's also that scene where he's also like, "Oh, how Eastern!" Like that was
I
a bad.
know,
I was like,
and I was
"What
like,
the fuck is wrong with
it's
you?
the same
You're
scene.
a priest."
I thought they
know.
were gonna be like, "Oh, those Orientals." Oh.
It's
I
like,
would have
once
turned
again,
it if that
they
had happened, I
wanted
would've
to be
turned
like
around and
Enter the Dragon 70s like style, but I'm
then-
like, you're not Enter the fucking Dragon.
It was like they tried to do like a Mel Brooks meets Enter the Dragon, and then it fell hard.
They tried to make this movie like something you would have seen on VHS in the 80s or something, like one of those piece of shit, like we put it out on VHS, so go and buy it and have fun.
Here's the thing, and here's where I lie with it. Like, there's literally one moment in this movie where Karen and I laughed, and it wasn't even because it was funny. It was just because of the sheer ridiculousness of the whole thing. And
Please tell me it was Vietnam.
It was Vietnam, and
Yes.
it was literally
Yep.
okay. Why is his girlfriend in Vietnam?
Vietnam in the
Why is
forest?
he walking towards? Why is she walking towards him? And then why does she explode all over? Oh,
Yeah.
because they probably saw that one scene in Pulp Fiction where they're driving and
They shot,
and John
what's his
Travolta's
name?
talking to Marvin, and all of a sudden the gun goes off, and he's like, "Oh shit, you just shot Marvin in the face," and it's so gory, and they're like, "Oh, let's do that and just get blood all over the guy." And I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Jared and I even
laughed-
said immediately, like, we knew she was going to
You
die.
didn't love
Yes.
the
But it
immediate
just, like-
exposition right afterwards where you said,
Yeah.
must have been one of them Viet Cong trip mines.
And I
Oh
was
yeah.
like,
And then I did like their like, why was she running through the woods? I don't know. Maybe she was
wanted
trying
to
to start a
family.
family. I actually laughed at that. I was
Or
like,
the
that's so
obvious setup with his
It was
friend.
stupid, yeah.
You can name your kid after me.
And I
Your
didn't
friend
know-
who made
I
it
didn't
through
know if
the-
smile just
Yeah,
like me.
boom.
I didn't know if the friend was supposed to be the same guy who was doing like the
No,
exorcism.
that
Oh,
was
because they
weird
look.
too.
Oh, you mean Chris Angel there?
Yeah.
They looked very similar, and I thought that's where they were going with it. But then they just decided to do the like how Black Dynamite did the
Yeah,
setup where the guy's
dude.
like, "This is my daughter.
Daughter.
She's
And
turning
that dude-
4 tomorrow."
yep.
The exorcism guy also
Cream
just gave me
corn.
like really skeevy, like child molester vibes. and,
Every
like,
character in this
yeah.
film skeeved me out.
Like, what was up with, because that whole seance, they called it, happened, and the guy's like, it seems I've truly unleashed the dogs.
And then he starts
laughing
laughing?
maniacally. I'm like, is he evil? What the fuck is
Yeah, because
happening?
the guy's
Yeah.
like, sometimes you have to go outside the church to make it happen. And he's just like, he walks out of his church like, hello.
Okay, the transformation scene was definitely that point where they wanted to be American Werewolf in London,
It
but
was
no.
almost exactly the same.
It was
dude.
because like the face looked kind of cool in the eyes, and I was like, if they would have just kept him like this the whole movie, that would have been better. And then you see his fucking hands and the gloves. You see
You see the cuffs
traveling
tucked into his
into his
sleeves.
body.
That's
Go,
the
Julian,
problem.
go
They
on.
didn't try and fucking do anything with the suit. It's literally, you could have gotten a fucking Party City and gotten the fucking T-Rex suit and done the same exact movie and gotten the same racist Chinese head that they ripped off the guy at the end.
The
and
mannequin
made
head?
the
Oh
mannequin
my
head
God.
and made the same fucking movie. It's like, at least have, like, I know you're trying to make a spoof movie and make some satire bullshit, but at least have some fucking
That's not satire. Jojo Rabbit's fucking
whatever.
satire.
At least have some fucking respect for the craft, because like there's filmmaking and trying to pull shit like that, and then there's just you people in your dorm rooms like doing whatever the fuck you're doing and being lazy. Like, this movie was lazy, and I know that it's not meant to be serious and it's not meant to be a good movie, but like
There are better bad films.
I felt like it was a disrespect to the film industry. Like that's
It was. I don't consider it a film.
like Robin Hood. Shitty fucking movie,
But
right? Like,
it was a
was-
movie that
but
tried
people
to be
genuinely
a
there was
good movie.
honest effort in
yeah.
it. That's
I don't know about
This had no heart.
maybe honesty. I don't know about the effort.
It ripped
But-
off films with heart and didn't use any of its own quirkiness or heart. Like, what makes American Werewolf in London good is its own quirkiness and heart, regardless of it how out of date is the visual effects and shit like that. You know, like
Can we just talk about how at the final battle with all the ninjas, Carol takes off her fucking shoe and starts like going ham
Where
on
did the
ninjas
knife
with it?
that
Yeah.
was in her hair go?
I don't know.
she didn't use it.
She didn't use it.
Plot armor.
Or the guy with the sword, like he comes at her and she just like stands there the whole
Oh
time.
yeah.
like,
Also, when did T-Rex guy? When did the VelociPastor get the Force?
Right?
Well, no, all right, hold on.
it's my
Hold on.
ancestors too.
Yeah,
made
that
no
was
sense.
his ancestral sword. All right, and I think it was Carol, and she tried to take it from him at one point, but then like she just couldn't. She just couldn't take it from him. So he was like, "This is my ancestral sword," and then that's why I was able to come to him. Because so
Why
if
is
I'm
his brother a
defending
fucking
part of a
ninja?
Why are
movie,
you killing your brother in cold blood? Like, you couldn't get like
Obviously,
some-
he's never met the fucking
Also,
guy,
their
right?
ancestral sword he looks like a ninja, but it's not even Eastern in design, if they're going to claim that. Like, it's not Asian in design.
Can we just point out the fact that, like, Sam technically has an argument because even Doug doesn't seem to remember his own brother? Like, his dad's like, you're my only son. I'm like, Sam's got a valid point here. Like, your entire family have been a complete bunch of assholes to him.
VelociPastor, you should die.
He looks super relieved when he kills his brother.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank God, now I can
The
really...
only person in this movie, and he was still like a racist old priest, was actually like the older priest who was like, you got a fucking demon inside you. We're going to exorcise that shit. And like,
maybe you shouldn't be eating people.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Oh my God.
Truly a cinematic masterpiece.
I feel like there's so much I'm not even bringing up because, like, I've either repressed it already or I just, like, there's too much to yell about.
An hour and 10 minutes of this movie have done
Imagine
this
if
to
it
us.
was longer.
Dude.
Imagine that.
If it was Endgame length, I would have ended my own life.
Oh,
Like,
no. Oh, God. I would have...
I would have canceled Bargain Bin for this week. I really
I might
would
have even unsubscribed from Amazon Prime. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, it's just
okay,
not worth it.
okay, let's talk about that next, actually. What the hell is this movie
Why is this
doing
getting
on Prime?
Blu-ray?
Like, no, why is it on... How?
Because one of them
Where's the
probably
money
has
coming
rich parents,
from?
and then they're able to like get in with some studio. There's no way people actually they got funding. Like, this is what pisses me off. Female directors and writers and like minority directors and writers fight all the fucking time for funding to make legitimately like important or good films, and don't get funding, or they don't get their scripts passed and shit for Hollywood. And then this shit can be made,
And it's
because
on
people
Prime.
know people.
And,
yeah.
and like people are probably all their fucking friends from school are the ones giving it this score. Like,
Can we also point out that the poster, quote unquote, of the movie looks better than anything?
does!
It's like
The
the
poster's so much
VelociPastor
better.
does not look like that at all.
I was
in the
expecting
movie.
a different movie.
I was
I was
expecting
too.
a very
Yeah,
different
so was I.
movie.
I thought it was gonna be action and fun.
a sci-fi Sunday B movie that you get on
Exactly.
the Sci-Fi Channel like every
It's
Sunday.
like
That's
it's
what I
like
thought.
Sunday at like 2 p.m.
Yes,
not a.m.
2
2 p.m. and it's like Piranha 2.
Dude,
and you're like, all right, I can
Piranhaconda,
do this.
though.
I like these movies. I can get through this.
Yeah.
But then this one, it was completely different. Terrible.
It was not what was advertised.
It wasn't a movie.
It wasn't a movie. It wasn't. That's the only way to describe it.
It was a
Experience.
this was
And you
like-
know
this
they're
was
making
like-
money off of it
This
too.
was like a film student's like final project. That
it's
they
a film
submit to the-
student's wet dream.
Like-
and their
like-
teacher probably loved it. Unfortunately.
Oh my God! It speaks to
You
me.
mean their
with, like, all the-
75-year-old white male teacher?
Probably.
Whose favorite movie is Pulp Fiction?
To be fair, Pulp Fiction
I
is
love-
my favorite
I love-
movie.
Actually, no. The film teacher's
Mood.
favorite movie, Breakfast at Tiffany's, because they love Mickey Rooney's like nuanced
I-
portrayal.
Oh
Fucking-
yeah, yeah.
Dude, I lost my shit when I first saw that movie. I was so mad. I was so mad.
Brittany is legit pissed off. You guys can't see it,
I just
but
get
she
so mad
is
when people are like
legit
racist to
angry.
Asians. Like, it just
No,
makes
this
me
movie-
angry.
this movie-
Like, I love Bruce Lee, and he had to go through so much shit in the 70s and 80s, and like people
And then-
now use his
Dude,
image for
it's-
so much.
It's like
and
2019, and then they did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and they did
and they put
fucking
him in
dirty.
there. They should not
Yeah, I
have
heard
put
they
him
did
in that
him dirty
movie.
in that.
Yeah.
His family has certain rights to his name that they're like trying to keep him out because like people keep using him for shit he didn't stand for, and it makes me so mad like all the time. Anyway,
Because like
I'm done.
he gets into a fight with the one guy there.
yeah, the Brad Pitt's.
Yeah, Brad
Oh
Pitt's
yeah,
character.
yeah.
And it's like
I
Bruce
would-
Lee isn't going to fight a random guy.
He
for
had
no
people
reason.
that would try to pick fights with him,
Yeah.
and he would just be like, one, boom, out of the way. Jet Li's had the same thing. He's
Yeah.
had people come up and just try to fight him, and he puts them in their place and just like, stop, I don't want to fight you.
I just don't feel like this movie deserves to be like on a streaming service. Like I
doesn't.
really don't.
It doesn't
know.
deserve
Like,
attention
It doesn't.
or anything.
Like, this was actually in a bargain bin. Sure. If you want to waste your
Yeah,
money
if
and
we'd
find
picked
it
this
in-
out of
yeah.
like the $1 Walmart DVD, I would have been like, all right, that's where it
Maybe,
belongs.
yeah.
Because
This is like a paid streaming service, and I assume the people who made the movie are getting paid for it. They're
getting some kind of
revenue.
royalty.
Jeff Bezos is like, man, I love VelociPastor.
Dare I say, let's get to the
The
bargain
oligarchy
bin
rules,
meter
yeah.
score. Brittany, hit it.
This film does not exist in my mind. It is not a film, therefore it doesn't get a rating. It is 0 on my list. I wouldn't buy it anywhere. No, 0. I think I hate it more than Robin Hood. Robin Hood was more fun to rant about.
Oh,
This
hell
just
yeah.
hurt me.
Yeah,
and made
no,
me
this,
angry.
Robin Hood was definitely much more like I still listen to the Robin Hood review and have a good time.
Yeah, it cracks me
listening
up.
to
I like cry laughing at it. It's great.
But kind of like Brittany, like I hate this movie to the like, as I said, like as soon as that happened, I'm like, this movie knows it sucks and like it's going to revel in that. It's just going to revel in the fact. But if I must give it a rating, like I will give it garage sale, like throw it in the fucking trash.
You don't have to give it a rating.
I mean, then fine. I won't give it a rating just because it's.
I love this.
Like it's just that.
That we're not even. This is the lowest level.
So top tier is like
Best
full
Buy.
price, right?
Full price.
Full price at Best Buy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Full price, and then Best Buy, and then Target,
Then Walmart, then Dollar Store, then garage sale. The bargain bin meter score is always evolving.
Oh yeah, we did expand it for
for friend request.
Friend request because it was so bad. Yeah.
And then we've expanded it for cats.
Yep.
Yeah, we expanded it for a lot.
I was just asking because I was going to forget.
No, it's okay. It's
for me. It's if you have a Denny's in your local area, if you go around back, they're going to have a dumpster where they threw out like their specials when no one orders them because Denny's is greasy as shit. If you take it to the bottom of that, you'll be able to find one. You'll be able to find a copy of VelociPastor back there. I promise. So that's my rating for it.
So
Denny's dumpster.
I wish I had the soundbite for this, but you know the scene near the beginning of it's like the middle of Thor when Odin's like, "I take your title, I take your power, I cast you out." That's this movie. It is expelled from the
film
motion
history,
picture
film
society
everything.
of America. It does not deserve to be in existence. It does not deem you worthy to hold the power of Thor. Fuck on off, VelociPastor. I hope you all get the syphilis from your dorm room.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Wow.
That's how I feel about this. This movie is expelled.
Al Capone died
On the
from
plus side, this movie does now make me want to go and watch better films like Black Dynamite.
It sucks because now I have to keep this in my memory. Like I don't want to, but it's going to be there because someone's going to say, "Hey, look at this."
It's just such a disrespect to the industry and racist and awful. And I
get to wash my palate by writing more martial arts matches.
There you go,
Thank God.
martial
Okay.
arts.
So pay
march.
attention to important, actually good Asian representation.
There you go.
That, Matt'll be hitting on.
That is going to do it for this week's episode. Jarrod, thanks for doing the show with us.
Woo!
Had a blast. It was great having you on. Next week, we have a lot going on the show. We are going to be reviewing Picard, the final episode in the whole season as a whole. We are going to be talking about film music, which is one of my favorite things in the world. We are going to have 2 shows for you next week. We are also recording the Matt vs. Matt extravaganza with our friends from Geeks with Kids. That's going to be a blast as well. Keep tuned to our website and Matt's ongoing martial arts march, which has been a blast to read. Brittany at some point is going to get me her
reviews. Don't say it. Just like I'm going to get you reviews.
She's going to get me something.
It's hard because I'm still working.
Yeah, and
both
then
jobs.
Obviously we'll have episode 3 this week to look forward to of Everything is Delicious and Top Chef Elimination number 2. So for Matt, for Brittany, I am Julian. Funania and Jarrod. I am Julian. Have a good night.
You can find Everything is Permitted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Everything is Permitted is produced by Rob Bigliaccio, Nikki Veazey, and Geneva Stein-Shivers. Our executive producers are Michael Cox, Brittany Tomes and the Tomes family, and Julian Brown.